What is going on, guys? It is Chris on the sticks, and I am back with another Call of Duty Ghosts gameplay commentary. And we are going to be concluding our talk about gaming peripherals today. And today we are going to be covering monitors. Now, this should be a fairly quick video because monitors are one of the more straightforward add-ons to your gaming that's basically out there. There's not much to it. But before I get into that, let me just tell you a little bit about the gameplay. I joined middle game. Just watch till the end. It gets interesting. I'm not gonna spoil what happens at the end. I do end up struggling, so it's not one of those amazing gameplays, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It wasn't too bad, but I liked it, so I ran with it. So we're talking about gaming peripherals. I know we're talking about game peripherals. We're talking about monitors. Excuse me. But a lot of people, especially who play casually, you probably don't even have a monitor that you play on. You probably play on a TV, whether it be just a rather regular LED or LCD TV, or if you have one of the old style box tube TVs, you'll probably be playing on that. So it depends on, for monitors, it's really more geared towards the YouTubers and professional gamers. Um, to a casual player, they might not really care about having a good gaming monitor. It might depend on their setup, whatever they play on. If they have like a entertainment if they have like an entertainment setup, where they have like a big screen TV, that might be one thing. If they just have like a basic thing where they play in their room or something, they might just have a small TV, and it might not matter to them what they play on. But for the people that might be looking into getting into competitive or maybe into YouTube, a monitor is something that's a really important piece of your setup. So let's just talk about the monitors that are out there. One of the things that you're probably going to look at, and is basically going to be on any monitor that you get, is the refresh rate. You want to look at something that has 60 hertz. 60 hertz basically translates into 60 frames per second, which basically means you'll get the most amount of frame rates out of your gaming, or because Call of Duty plays at 60 frames per second. Basically how that works is, like, if you don't know, your eyes can see 30 frames per second, but your brain can process 60 frames. So it's just something that's been a mainstay in fast-paced shooters such as Call of Duty. Battlefield on console has been known for being at only 30 frames per second and hasn't been as good. Like on PC, it's much better. If you have a better PC, you can play that 60 frames per second. But for Call of Duty and things like that, you want something that has 60 frames per second, and you want a monitor that can play 60 frames per second. There are monitors that can go upwards to 120 frames per second. Those are mainly for 3D gaming, so they need that extra refresh rate to keep up with the game. But I think they could also be used to display the 120 frames per second. I don't know. I haven't actually seen it. I haven't played 120 frames per second, so I don't know if someone has it. I don't know how much of a difference it would make. But that's another thing that's out there. Those do tend to get more expensive the higher you go. But the other thing, this is probably the most important thing when you're looking into getting a gaming monitor. Like I said before, if you look at a basic monitor, 9 times out of 10, it'll have 60 frames per second, the 60 hertz that you're looking for. But one of the things you really want to pay attention to is the response time. The response time is basically this. It's how long it takes for an input that you put in to your controller, and how long it takes for that to show up on the screen. So if you've ever played on like an old TV, you might notice that if you press like a button on your controller, the game doesn't react until like maybe maybe a second later or a few milliseconds later. And what the response time is, the faster the response time, the faster the input is. This is mostly important in competitive games because the faster you can get your shot on, or the faster you can put an input into the game, the faster it will respond, and then those few milliseconds can be the difference between you winning a gunfight and losing a gunfight. So it's really important for gamers, and especially when you're playing online, because the added lag from the internet, etc. It adds some frustration, and it adds more time. It adds more time to your gunfight, more time that you could have used to win a gunfight that you lost because you had a delayed input or just lag in general. So the main response times, like the basic response time that you want to have on a monitor, I think this is the basic that comes with basic computer monitors, is 5 milliseconds. That's the one that I have on my monitor. That's the basic that's the basic that you can get. Those usually cost you around $100 or so. Those aren't really expensive, but they do the job. They get the job done. If you're really focused on just playing at a higher level, you really want to look at the 2 millisecond and 1 millisecond response time. 1 millisecond is the absolute fastest at the time that you can get in response time. I'm not sure if there's any more technology that's coming out that will be faster than 1 millisecond response time. It'll be a 0.5 millisecond response time. I don't know if that's the case, but for the time being, 1 millisecond response time is the fastest. And those monitors, if you look at that, you can get a 1 millisecond or 2 millisecond response time monitor for around $150 upwards to $200, maybe even a little more depending on what you're looking at. But the two main companies that will make monitors that a lot of people will look towards is Asus, I don't know how you pronounce that, and BenQ. BenQ was an MLG sponsor. They don't sponsor them anymore. I don't know why. A lot of people were praising their 1 millisecond response time monitors. But Asus also makes 1 millisecond response time. They make 2 millisecond response time. They have a wider range of monitors than BenQ, I believe. But those are just two of the basic examples that are out there. That basically covers it. If you want to take your gaming to a higher level, a monitor is surely a way to push your game to that next level. It'll allow you to have the faster responses, more crisp vision. The other thing I didn't mention this. One of the other added benefits of a monitor, this actually applies to the wide range. If you're playing on a TV, if you ever notice that you try to take a shot at distance, it's kind of hard to see the person. It's kind of hard to see someone at ranges. A monitor is one of the things that will help a lot with that. I have a better shot at shooting people at further ranges on my monitor than I do on a regular TV. One of the reasons is the pixelation. It's not as pixelated, even at higher like 1080p. Even at like a 1080p TV screen, it's sometimes harder for me to see someone at a range just because the pixel density is not as high as on a monitor. The other thing, like especially if you're playing on an old style TV, this would be a huge upgrade. And it's a smaller screen. You're not looking with a smaller screen. You're not looking all over the place, especially like if you're playing on a big screen TV. It compacts it closes your viewing range. It makes it so you don't have to like move your eyes around the TV just to look at who you're trying to shoot at, things like that. It's something that can improve your game. Just those little things that people that play on a higher level pay more attention to than just the casual players. So if that's you, if that's something that you're interested in, that's something that you can definitely look at. If not, it's just an option. You don't have to. Just putting out the different things that are out there that can kind of help improve your gameplay. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, comment down below, subscribe for more videos, and as always, guys, this is Chris, and I'll see you later.